One of the founders of a new photography competition called the Natural Landscape Competition is someone I've known for several years and is very well respected within the industry. He approached me recently and asked if I would help to spread the word of their new competition and offer an introductory 15% discount on entry fees to my followers. As well, you know, I'm not one for plugging gear or peddling sponsors, but apart from the fact that I think this new competition is what's needed within the whole array of competitions that are available, I think this is also a great opportunity to discuss some of my own views on competitions, the positives, the negatives, some thoughts on images that have been successful for me in the past, but also why you would consider entering this competition and some of the things that you might want to bear in mind when selecting some of your own entries. Firstly, let's take a quick look at my image which won the main landscape category in Outdoor Photographer of the Year. It actually came incredibly close to winning the competition. It's an image which many of you will be familiar with, Valley Stories 3. Now, I don't want to dwell on old images too much, but I think it'd be useful to look at why I think this particular image did well. Let's first consider that when I first published this image on social media, it didn't really have a huge buzz of positivity. It was certainly enjoyed, but didn't have the instant broader impact of other images I've had commended in competitions such as Guardians of the Forest and Afraid of Time. However, I've loved this scene from the very moment I set my eyes upon it, and that's why I submitted it to the competition, because I had this unwavering faith in the image as a piece of work that was meaningful to me and representative of what I wanted to portray as a woodland photographer at that moment in time, which was atmosphere, storytelling, intent, emotion, and a very personal connection to my local area. In fact, most of the images that I submitted were of scenes that I'd discovered within quiet local woodlands, and back in 2017, I was fortunate that that seemed to be refreshing to the judges after they'd been through hundreds of very beautiful images from popular locations such as Iceland and Norway. So perhaps there's an element of luck to the timing. Does your view of the world stand out against other submissions, or has there been a deluge of very similar images in that particular year? I was told in Valley Stories 3 that the judges saw an obvious connection and sensitivity to what I was photographing, careful consideration for the reasons behind how it was framed and executed, and a devotion to showing the very best of what I loved within my local landscape. So the main points that I'd like to make around this image are to follow your heart and the work that speaks for you, what you care about and your own unique view of the landscape. The very thought of picking images based on trying to preempt what others will like is not only futile, but is so far removed from what art is about that you'll be doing yourself an injustice and run the risk of falling into the trap of losing that sustainable enjoyment that only true passion provides. Your selection process shouldn't be about picking the images that have had the most likes on social media, and certainly shouldn't be modelled upon past winners either. I think submitting what you perceive to be your best self can include magical and unique moments that are about being in the right place at the right time, but also images that show craftsmanship and soul, that kind of magic ingredient, which I think is demonstrable through a keen eye for composition, your ability to harness suitable light, your sensitivity to subject, form, colour, and the relationship between these things, and also the rendering. I'll very briefly show you this image, which was in Outdoor Photographer of the Year 2018, and it's called Textured Fragments. It's another anonymous location, and the image was made around the idea of fragmented Caledonian pine forests in Scotland, and purposely capturing the lines of snow to add texture, movement, a sense of the experience, and to help capture the atmosphere by softening the backdrop that disappears up the snowy mountainside. Again, not a massively popular image on social media, but an image that I certainly believed in. So why might you not want to enter a competition? Well, I don't think art should be likened to a competitive sport. There's no such thing as being first across the line to reach the podium. There's no such thing as the best image. It's a considered result based on the opinion of a judge or a number of judges who go through a selection process influenced by numerous factors such as mood, personal preference, other entries that year, and a propensity towards a particular subject, style or approach. With that in mind, and I speak from experience, it is very easy to get wrapped up in the competition element and then ultimately feel disappointed, disheartened and even angry. If you've put your heart and soul into years of work and you're not successful, then it's very easy to feel a strong sense of rejection. So for the sake of your own sanity and the enjoyment of this craft in the places that you love, you just have to be open-minded. Accept that it's subjective, and it doesn't mean that your images aren't as good as those winning images. So whatever the result, just keep on being you. If you have tough skin, you're open-minded, curious, confident in your work, or have commercial aspirations, then go for it. There's no denying that it's a wonderful feeling to have your work recognized, awarded as being amongst the best, and the kudos that brings. To see your work in an awards book, the newspaper or an exhibition is a real buzz, and if you do particularly well, then there's obvious commercial value in that too. And no matter what anybody else thinks about a particular photograph, there's an experienced judge that's spent considered time with your image, loves what you've created, can see what you saw, and that stamp of approval might be the boost that you need to help with your personal growth or professional development. 2016 was the first time I've ever entered a competition, and I did well with Guardians of the Forest in Landscape Photographer of the Year. But I was less experienced and I became so intensely wrapped up in the competition. I was very fortunate. It gave me a huge boost in confidence and helped to affirm my beliefs as a woodland photographer. But because of my personal position in 2016, if it had gone the other way, then it may have been damaging in the short term. Despite having greater success in 2017 and a little more in 2018, I've drifted away from competitions as I try to measure my success in more personal ways. Being judgmental of my own work, finding meaning and fulfillment beyond the aesthetic, having open critiques with fellow photographers, and spending more time making images that aren't about impact, the sublime or wow factor, but contemplative and quiet. Images which sometimes fall flat on platforms such as Instagram, but might sing when printed or require more than a passing glance to be appreciated. I genuinely think that if we are going to have competitions, then the natural landscape competition fills in a gap that needs to be filled. I'm a big fan of the eyewitness tradition, and I'm increasingly drawn to the natural beauty around us and working within its boundaries, whether that be the sublime, nuanced or abstract. So to have a competition that celebrates field skills, sensitivity to truth, is organised by photographers with extensive experience and has the goal of curating varied and beautiful work to form a fine art book is a welcome addition to the competition arena. If I hadn't agreed to help them spread the word, then this is the one competition I would enter myself. But if you're interested in entering, then please follow the link in the description below and use the discount code Baxter15 for 15% off your entry fee. Entry is open on Tuesday the 1st of June, and it is an affiliate link, but I do appreciate using it because it helps to support this channel and the new competition. I'll also include a couple of links to useful articles talking about why the competition was started and also the judging process. But like I said, please think long and hard about whether competitions are for you, why you're entering, what you potentially have to gain, or indeed what you have to lose. Either way, keep being you, enjoy it, and I'll see you again soon.